Hello, thank you. Cheers. And thank you for tuning in to another episode of Shoot the Ish. Now, I guess I'm going to talk about trending topics tonight, but one of the trending topics that I definitely want to talk about is the podcaster or YouTuber Kevin Samuels. And one of the things that made me want to talk about this, because, I watch the show, and when I watch the show, I see that he talks about, what do they say, a high-end man and, a six-figure man and the type of women that six-figure man wants. And, you look through Facebook, you look through social media, you see people's comments, especially men. You see some, especially women, and you see some comments in reference to men as well. Men making points about it. Now, but the thing that bothers me about it is sometimes we hate the messenger. But is what he's saying wrong? Some people say it's the delivery. Some people say it's, the way he disrespects certain people. But one of the things that I do recognize is that, they call him. And it does make sense because, look, let's be honest. We are literally living in a different time, which now we go with, conversation that I have with some of the fellas sometimes is like, you got the regular woman, and you got the woman with high expectations. But sometimes the woman with the high expectations don't deserve it. And that's the problem. And I think that's what he's saying, that, again, at this point in time, that everybody believes they are entitled to have this, entitled to have this. And it was a conversation that me and my boy had. You go on Instagram, right? You see these chicks that's probably banging. While you're looking at the chick, I'm looking in the background with the chick to see if she got roaches crawling on the back of the wall, whether or not her baseboards look like they haven't been cleaned in years, whether or not, them curtains look like they fucked up and just been sitting there like, lady, you over here spending your last dime on yourself, and where you live look like shit, but then you have the tendency to be like, you can't, I'm this, I'm that. And it's like, yo, who told you this? Just because you getting all these likes, do that mean that you just that shit and you believe you deserve and all this other shit? But then it's like, after that, what is there? And don't get it wrong, I'm not going to vilify women only, because we got some dudes that be stunting heavy, going on the gram, sit in front of a car, and it's their car. But that's all they got for themselves is a goddamn car. They put a little belt on, they advertise themselves, and then they get out there, and then they attract what type of woman? The same type of woman that's on IG doing the same thing. So, in a way, they made for each other. But the fucked up thing that Kevin Samuels does is this. Usually a dude in these brackets, they're gonna 9 times out of 10 be meeting people within that same bracket anyway. Cause if you a dude in that bracket and you still hanging around chicks that's feeling like I deserve, a woman that's really got something going on for herself, she ain't out here like I deserve. It just comes natural. So sometimes, it's entertainment. We love it. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, they love it. They love seeing people get broken down, but they set themselves up anyway. Like, I just seen one episode, young chick, she 25 something, she had a kid, but he killed her. And I knew he was going to kill her, because at 10 o'clock at night, you hear the little baby in the background talking. And he like, you, what? You can't, because basically, he probably telling her she can't even be a mother, and you talking about what you deserve in a man. You need to be taking care of your kid first. But again, I just look at it like, who we all are past judging, but at the end of the day, these are called what social media is now is just content creators. It's like whatever you choose, whatever entertains you, tickles your fancy, as they may say. It's what entertains us. But it's still a perspective. I think with anything, you look. A person could be saying some of the most bullshit things in the world, but you take something from it and says, does he have a point? Does he have a lane? Did he create a lane for himself? And guess what? Yeah, he did. And is it entertainment? Hell yeah, it's entertaining. So when it's said and done, do you think he's wrong? Do you think what he's saying is incorrect? Because sometimes, I mean, to me, before I did a podcast on this, I'm looking at more of his show in detail, and I'm like, I agree with some, I disagree with others, and he's heavily opinionated, and sometimes he doesn't like people to talk, and they have valid points, but sometimes I think we live so like we live so much in an opinionated society right now. Because look, I think one of the questions that he doesn't ask, because I think the thing is, people are looking to be or find a suitor to say, and what do you say to the couple that making the same amount? Then we go to, how were we raised? If I'm making the same amount as the woman I'm making, now do we play our roles the right way? And then that's another thing. What is the role? What is the role of the man in 2021? What is the role of the woman in 2021? Do we go, is it a 50-50 split? Is it, oh, well, you're the man, you're supposed to be doing this. Well, you're the woman, you're supposed to be doing this. Well, hold up. So again, what roles do we play? I think that's the point. The point is, what roles do we play in 2021? Not if I make this amount, what is it that I'm looking for? Because that ain't gonna be the problem. The problem is, what roles do we play? And in 2021, are we playing what roles? And is it a safe thing to say what role we play? Because nowadays it's like, that's where the head bumping gonna happen. That's where the headbutts happen, to the role that we play in our relationships. Because one minute we want to have the old school role of the man is the provider, the woman is the one who takes care of the home and stuff like that. But then at the same time, it's still 2021. We need both. We all need help. We need somebody to make it a little bit light on us. Because see, what he's talking about is that upper echelon. Let's talk about the real shit. The people who making $70,000 a year, or the people that's making $60,000 a year. When you got a household with one person making 60, another person ain't making that much. Like, look, yeah, you working, but you bringing home this amount. I'm working, I'm bringing home this amount. Now, do we now get in this household and start saying, well, no, I work too. I'm supposed to be doing this. Or who makes this amount? Like, that's when the complication happens. So, truthfully, I think when you're dating, when you're getting to know people and you're looking to make these changes, it's like, what role? Do we ask these questions? When you meet somebody, do you ask them, did you grow up with a mother and father? Did you grow up with just a single mom? Because everybody's going to have their opinion of what they believe things should be. You could meet somebody and y'all get together, just like I know situations like, if I cook, that person automatically goes in and clean the dishes. Or you can meet somebody or that they come over their man's house and the man may have dirty dishes in there. Oh, I ain't cleaning that. They were there before me. I ain't cleaning shit. But then at the same time, if I'm used to somebody that's always did that, that's going to be a problem right there. Like, ew, I'm like, what you mean? So again, these are things that you got to find out before you even get involved. Because I think, like I said, it's not about what Kevin Samuels is saying, a person that's making this and he don't what this type. No, it's the bottom line. It's about roles that we play in 2021. Because truthfully, I think a man that's really about something or anybody. Let's just even, but I'm going to say man because that's, again, what was the topic in reference to what he talks about. But I don't think if I'm at a certain point, it wouldn't even get that far. And that's the point. So what's great about his show is the fact that you would see somebody that comes on, asks a question about, I'm this, and I think I should have this. But like I tell anybody, for one, before you start thinking you should have, what is it that you have now? And are you asking somebody else to give you more than you ever gave yourself? See, you can't ask somebody to give you more than you ever had your damn self. That makes no fucking sense. See, I'm not gonna go on a date, or a woman go on a date, and I look at her, I was like, this is a Burger King bitch. But she with me saying I want filet mignon and saying filet mignon wrong. Bitch, you ain't used to that. So why you gonna get on my ticket? You gonna try to, get something you ain't used to. You a Burger King bitch. So when it's all said and done, like, relax. Come out with me, get some chicken fingers or something. You know what I'm saying? That's what you probably used to. But again, it's not even to play somebody. But it's like, but that's what we do in these relationships sometimes. Or not really relationships. When you date, you expect the person you deal with, and you had these high expectations for yourself, for somebody else to do, when you never even did it for yourself. What kind of sense do that make? It makes sense to me. But again, it's what you choose and what you choose to be around, where you choose to meet people at, where you at in your life. And that's what it seems to be to me majority of the time. So it's like, when I watch his show, I say to myself, I was like, is he wrong? But sometimes I think his responses ain't correct. I literally will always say, like, well, why do you feel you deserve that? You explain to me why you feel you deserve it. Then next question I'm asking, like, technically, out of everything you feel you deserve, where you at? Can you take that? Because see, sometimes we jump in certain situations. So that same woman who feels like she deserve a man to make this, and that, and she ain't doing herself, she go fuck with that man, right? She go mess with him. Then she messes with him. She got used to a certain way of living. She needs that. So she actually puts herself in a bond because now she with somebody, got used to a certain lifestyle. He ain't marry her. They just dealing with each other because most of these women, like, I'm supposed to deal with a man that got this. Yeah, y'all move in together because I think people making wiser decisions because it looks like marriage is almost extinct. So people going to be living with each other, making all these moves. He makes a certain amount. She makes a certain amount. She pushed herself to a level that she couldn't handle. Now he ain't with it no more. What is the saying? She back to the streets. Because she can't maintain that level. She can't maintain that level of living. So sometimes you got to match your shit with somebody else's shit. Because I've always said this. If I mess with you, I want to feel your impact in my life. If I can't feel your impact in my life, what the hell is the sense? Does it make sense? Because if you leave and I still feel the same way, that means you added nothing. I want you to be able to leave me. And I was like, damn, that felt good with having that person because I felt less on me. I felt less pressure. So again, he talks about a different level. Let's talk about the regular relationships. And I think that's the point. It's the regular relationships. And what is it that we feel like we deserve? And why is it that you feel you deserve it? That's the question to me. Why is it that you feel you deserve it? But this is just a question I had. I wish I could get people to call in. I found that, look, I was doing some research about trying to perfect the podcast and different type of podcasts and things like that. And I'm telling you, I think like what I do for my job, I'm a supervisor, so I talk to people. And that was one of the things I said, like, you know, I'm in sales. So, you know, one of the things I said, you can't expect to be good at something if you're not doing it on a consecutive basis. And then I brought up the podcast. And as most people that watch this, they know I'm not consistent and my shows are not consecutive. But that's something I got to work on myself, because how do you get good at something if you're not doing it on a consistent basis? But, you know, it's things that you got to keep learning and doing over and over and over. And I realized like there are things in life that anytime you do, you should always learn from it. And that goes from relationships, that goes for things that you want to be better in at life. It goes to things that you choose to strive and things that you choose to want to get into. And, you know, like, I wish I could get to the point that I could get to learning, talk to people and learning this podcast thing. And, you know, and talking about podcasts, this leads me into my other topic. What can I say? Let me drink on this one real quick. But, you know, this leads me into my other topic again, right? Everybody knows if I mean, obviously, if you're on YouTube, you definitely watch many YouTube shows and stuff like that. And I'm just going to talk about the Joe Budden podcast, what happened with Rory and Mal, right? Because that's another trending topic that's happening. And I wanted to put my stamp on it. But I'm not going to talk about, like, you know, the show canceled. I'm just going to talk about what I feel, what I look at as the bigger part. I see a situation where everybody was cool with each other. And when money got involved, snakes came out. And that led me to start thinking about friends and the word friends. Like, do we really have friends? And I mean, yeah, of course we have friends, but how deep are our friendship? Is money stronger than our friendship? Because when I look at that situation, I was like, look, they was cool. Because I'm gonna tell you something. It was something that was said on it. Because it seems like one of the scenarios they said when Joe Budden started the podcast, he did it for his music, to send out his music. Then he had Rory come on, like, yo, doing the podcast Dolo is, you know, it'll be easy to have another person. And I'm gonna tell you this. I started this podcast thing and the idea of podcast literally 10 years ago. And I thought of it, I'm telling you, I thought about this shit before before this shit was even a popping thing. And you know what stopped me from doing it? I couldn't imagine being on a podcast, talking to a camera by myself. And what I would do, I would ask a friend, yo, man, let's do this together. Yo, let's do this together. Yo, let's do this together. Yeah, I do it. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, that's a good idea. To no avail, never happened. So I stopped. I didn't do it because I kept waiting on somebody else. I was getting years. Yeah, I do it. Yeah, I do it. Nothing. So then I stopped. I gave up on the idea. Then I spoke to somebody else. It was like, look, man, I understand that you fear, not really fear, that it feels awkward. They say, look, bruh, just do it. You shouldn't care about, for one, you should never care about the viewership. You shouldn't care if it looks perfect. Just put out content. And you know what? I did it. That's why if you guys actually seen it, that from when I first was thinking about it, when y'all first seen me first do a podcast, that was almost 3 years later when I decided to do it and actually put the stuff out. But what really stopped me was because, again, friendship. Thinking you would have a person that you could talk to be like, yo, let's do it. And everybody has ideas and everybody's saying, yeah. But when it's time for you to, let's do it, people disappear. Because truth be told, to do it by yourself, to do a podcast, do a show by yourself, just you and the camera talking and everything, that's kind of, it's a personality you got to have, but then at the same time, it don't flow as good when you're with somebody else. So this goes back to the thing of when Joe Budden had his podcast and Rory comes, right? So Rory comes, it's easier. Now, don't get me wrong. Joe Budden has a stronger personality. He is that character. That's probably why you go and watch it. But being that with that strong personality, it's a difference between having that strong personality by yourself compared to being that strong personality and having someone to your left and somebody to your right and being able for you to stop, let them say something, you respond. Your personality allows that to happen, allows that conversation to go. Because people have a tendency not to want to see you talk for that goddamn long, because them shits be like 2 goddamn hours. So, and then the conversation could go longer because you do have a counterpart. So, truthfully, when they say they were never they weren't his employees, they were in a partnership together because that's why it grew. And at the same time, understanding by doing podcasts, oh, hell yeah, it's goddamn easier when somebody else is there. If you've seen some podcasts, my better podcast is when I have a guest. Because at the end of the day, you get the podcast could go long as shit because you have a guest. You let them talk. That's a breath of fresh air right there. I can shut the hell up for a little bit, let them talk. Then my personality jumps back in. It's that break that I need while that person handles it. And it makes it go by quick. And then you forget that you're even doing a podcast because now you're just really having a conversation, not just with the camera, but with your co-host. So they're legit in saying like, nah, bruh. Yeah, we understood you started it for one reason, but when we came, we are what made this shit pop. People say, what do they mean? No, yeah, indeed, they made that shit work because he wouldn't be able to be himself to be able to give you guys the content and be able to react that way. Because if you ever look, he's reacting to his co-host. That's why co-hosts are fucking important. That shit's important. And just to let you guys know, I did a podcast. To record it, I sat in this chair. Looked at this goddamn camera. I was probably in this basement for two hours talking to this goddamn camera. I was ready to do an edit. I'm like, wait, where's the stuff I gotta edit? Wait, where is it? And you know what I did? I found that I actually was talking to the camera, so basically to myself, for goddamn 2 hours, because nothing got recorded. And I was mad. And that time look, it was good. I don't know. I probably went on a tangent or something. I was talking about the police. And you know what? I'm gonna bring that topic up. It's gonna be short. But I'm gonna continue with the Joe Budden podcast. But I think what I got from it was this: friendships and business. Sometimes, and this will be a good segue into what I was saying, what I'm about to say, because sometimes we do live in a situation where you could go into something and your intentions is like, yo, let's get this shit popping. We homies. Let's get it done. When money come in, you see everybody want to be a chief. Nobody want to be it's almost like we could be splitting this shit 50-50. But in your head, you still believe you may be the goddamn chief. It's not about that. It's about, look, let's do this shit together. And sometimes that I want to be the leader. I'm running this shit. I'm like, that's the shit that fuck people up. Because you got to look at the bigger fucking picture. And I think everybody want to be a goddamn boss. Chill the fuck out. It ain't about that. It's about the fucking bag. And sometimes just shut up. Like, for real. Do we see the vision? Everybody has to play their role. I was talking about that in others with relationships. You the stronger personality. But I know, me being a stronger personality, I need you because you help that come out. So you're just as important as I am, as you are to me, vice versa. So again, it's like that's where the problem is. And that's why sometimes when you do these businesses, you do shit with friendships and you do something, get your paper. I think that's the best thing that I learned. Get your paperwork right. You can't trust your goddamn friend either. Because it's like, ain't no love. Nah, when money get involved, niggas change. And what is fucking friendship? You seen that show been on forever. Look what happened. He did get Hollywood on them and all that shit. And did play them out in public and all this other shit. I was like, yo, you corny as shit for that. That was some corny shit, to be honest with you. But that leads me on the topic that I'm going to end this podcast on. And it was based on a conversation that I had with somebody. But it was an opinion that I thought about. I said, I don't think the shit that's plaguing black folks today is police shootings. I don't get out my goddamn bed in the morning and think about, am I gonna make it home because of police shooting? Now, does it happen? Yeah, but it's been happening forever. But I always am weary about the shit that they talk about on the news. I ain't never see America give a fuck about a black man and whether or not he got shot by the news. But that shit, Black Lives Matter, look, I love the idea, the concept. But I don't think that's what's plaguing black folks. What do I think plague black people? Economics. Support. Community. We over here worrying about cops. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Let's say they stop all police shootings. No more unarmed. No more blacks are getting killed by cops. Because that's what Black Lives Matter is about. Where the fuck you gonna be at after they stop killing cops? You're gonna still be in the same fucking situation. You still don't own, you still don't have shit in your community. The money still ain't staying in our community. We ain't getting no better. We ain't been pushed up. We don't support each other. So thank you. They stopped killing us, but you still in the same shit. You're gonna go right back to the same community that you don't give a shit about. The same community that don't show that you live there because it ain't no black stores, ain't no black business, ain't no black supermarket. So what the fuck are you complaining about? Oh, Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. That ain't the shit that's plaguing us. That ain't the problem. One of the biggest problems, we don't support each other. We won't support each other even if the shit is free. So, okay, we can't even, I find it hilarious that you can't support each other if it's free. Because it's always this situation. I love Belly. I love that scene from Belly with old dog eating a banana leg. And he hating because he saw them ride through his town. But that's what the fuck the problem is. We all have that. Nah, nigga, you trying to come up? You trying to get your life right? Because you got a product that I ain't got? And you trying to do something? Nah, I ain't supporting that. Why you ain't supporting it? Oh, because I'm going to get out the ghetto, even though you want to get out the ghetto. But I have something. I just say, hey, support. If you didn't fucking do it, why you ain't going to support me? Because you mad that I'm going to probably come up, but I'm coming up of something that won't affect you. It's free. Just show support. Nah, I ain't showing. Man, that's the fucking problem right there. That's the problem. I see social media. We'll support we will share a video of people we don't even know. We'll share a video of Kevin Samuels fucking calling a chick, oh, you big football back bitch. And you don't know the nigga. But the people you do know, you won't even share a goddamn video that is free. It's free. That right there is a problem. That's, what do they call it? Crab in the barrel. Nigga, you ain't getting out this barrel. And I'ma still be in here? Oh, hell no. Hell no. You trying to get out? Nigga. That's our problem. And I have a job where they think, oh, because this happens, this gonna happen. Because I said, we as black people, we don't think that way. When we come in a picture, we don't never think we ever gonna get hooked up. If it's another black person, I'm not getting hooked up by that person. We look at it like if that black person comes, he has to try his hardest never to make it look like he's trying to hook somebody up because everybody expects it. But everybody else do it. Everybody else do it. Look at the Civil Rights Bill. Civil rights came through. Civil rights for everybody. We shall overcome. But let's be honest. When everybody else try to get put on, they say, shit. For my ethnicity. For my ethnicity. For my ethnicity. Good old black folks. We gonna do it for everybody. We always try to be fair. Cause that's just who the fuck we are. So, when I look at these Black Lives Matter, police shootings, I'm like, all right, let's say a police shooting stop. Where would we be at? Where would we be? Same old shit. Still in the same community that we live in, that we don't own shit in, we rent. Chinese store still down the street. Pouring all our money in there. We still buying shit from places that don't give a fuck about us. We still treat our own community like shit because it's technically ain't our community because we don't we don't have stores in it. Every other ethnicity has a store in it. When it comes to our business, we want hookups, but you go to the white man's store, you pay exactly what they want, and they can disrespect you. And your ass is still pay just to prove that you could pay for it. which is the dumbest shit in the world. You treat me like shit, and you treat me as if I can't afford to be in your store, and I'm going to prove to you that I deserve to be in your store. Watch me buy all this shit. I brought it just so I can prove to you and spend my money at your store. And the money you spend at the store, they don't do shit for your community anyway. But for the person who lives in your community that could come up, you won't give it to them. You won't support them. And why? Because they may be doing better than me. You old Samuel Jackson Django ass nigga. Come on, man. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not a conspiracy theorist or nothing like that. But I just be looking at shit totally different. I look at news. I look at all the current events. I always say to myself, I'm like, really? Is that our problem right there? Is it? I don't know, man. It's just something that I think about. And to all the people who watch the show, just think about that, though. They're talking about Black Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter, blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm like, all right, cool. What if they stop killing black folks tomorrow? What the fuck changes in the black community? Yay, we made it. Yay. Yay, what? Oh, the schools ain't, no, you still got poor education. Oh, okay. You still, wait, what? You can't get approved for a bank loan. Oh, you can't get a job. Wait, they stopped killing black folks. Don't I get something for that? No, you just ain't dead, nigga. Oh, okay. What did this do for us again? We still go. Oh, you can still get racially profiled. Oh, I can still go to jail a lot, like 10 times more than white folks. Oh. But nigga, you ain't dead, but now you go to jail. Shit, what the fuck changed it? So again, like I said, I don't think the average motherfucker wakes up in the morning like, yo, I'm about to be insulted by these cops and they're about to kill me. I hope I make it home. I don't think the average nigga thinking like that. I really don't. I don't think they think that. And the motherfuckers that think it, I be like, really? What the fuck you be doing that you really think you gonna get fucked with by cops on a daily basis? Bullshit. But while they're pushing that agenda and you out here screaming about Black Lives Matter, you saw the president gave the discriminated. They put a law in that about discriminating against the Chinese folks. But always recognize this: China owns a lot of our debt. And so, it's just shit I just think about when I be looking at TV, look at the news, look at certain articles that they come out with. And it's like, wait, while we still screaming Black Lives Matter, the president who got y'all niggas said, you know what? I'm going to put an executive order in to stop the discrimination against Chinese folks. Now, I don't think anybody should be discriminated against. But that just shows you they put an executive order to do that. But we out this motherfucker saying Black Lives Matter. Interesting. Look who's behind that Black Lives Matter shit too. But I think sometimes like the as we always call ourselves, or people who get on these platforms and you're putting information out, you call the content creator, right? You put your content, you create context, hoping, you can get caught. You go viral, you go whatever. You put as much as you can. This is because truthfully, most people don't realize is that when you do podcasts and stuff like that, you really gotta advertise your stuff heavy. You really gotta be on this for stuff to catch traction. You are really pimping, or you really put this information out there like it's dope. Like you really trying to get everybody a little taste. Yo, look, for real, support this. And truthfully, while you're watching this, give it a like. Support. Because, like, when you really think about it, like, again, like I said, supporting is free. Sharing is free. And nobody asks for money. No. What people are really asking for is just, hey, can you share? That's it. But I always ask myself, I swear I wish I could ask anybody that would probably even, like, we have social media, right? You probably have your Instagram, you probably have your Facebook. I wish I could ask people, like, excuse me, just for a question, why don't you share it? I just want to know. And it's not that I care, like, truthfully, I'll just say personally, it's not that I really care, but when you look at the things that get shared, right? You say to yourself, how did that, a cat jumping to another table and not making it, how did that get shared? But then, only thing I've always said, like, you can know 50 people that you'll say are your friends, right? Then you ask yourself, like, well, damn, only 10 people viewed. That doesn't make sense, because those are people I know. And this was the conversation I had with somebody, because I know people that do jewelry. I know people that do clothing. And shit don't get shit. But this was the important thing. When I was in the Army, it used to be people in the Army, I swear they were like church people. I mean, yeah, they were church people. They would come around with their flyers saying, hey, come to church, you military people. Motherfuckers, we quick to run away from them, right? Like, man, if you don't get your ass out of here, if you don't get out of here, get your, like, really banging on them. And then I stopped and saw, because at the same time that they were walking around, right after that, it was a dude coming around with club flyers. Talk about, they go, like, yo, come to the club. Niggas right in their face, like, where, yo, I'll be there. Yeah, I'm about to be there. Let me get that flyer. So it's all about, like, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes I always say, look, if I know I'm going to take the club flyer, I feel wrong that I'm taking the flyer about Jesus or something. Even though I knew I wasn't still going to go to church. But look, they want to get a flyer out. You know what I'm saying? The church people want to get a flyer out. So technically, I was like, do it hurt for me to take the flyer? Nah, it don't. So when it was all said and done, I was nice. I took the flyer. You know what I'm saying? So it was cool. I took the flyer. But that was during the time we wasn't even all this like Facebook or this sharing shit. But that was a long time ago when I was actually in the Army. I think that was like what was it, like 98 or something? No, I got back out like 94 or something. But I mean, I'm gonna just say this, and I'm about to end the podcast. But look, support. I think that's the thing. And you know, if you guys like the content, like I've always said, your opinions are deeply appreciated. And I know I got stuff to work on myself, because I will never complain about support and all that thing. I mean, and all that stuff on the basis I'm not even consistent. You know what I'm saying? And you know I have a tendency sometimes to get on like, yo, I'm about to be consistent starting this week. And I don't. So I'm not ever going to say this or say that. But the reality is, it's things that we always got to work on. And whether or not it's this podcast or another podcast, it's free to share a link, especially if it's somebody you know. If it's somebody you know, and if a person sends something, they say, like my page, I probably don't even know who it is. But guess what? It did not hurt to say, like it. And now you're part of that group. As long as nobody's asking for money, how does it hurt me? It ain't. So in that note, thank you again for tuning into another episode of Shoot the Ish. And definitely subscribe, share. If you share, like the page, subscribe to the page. And again, your feedback is definitely much appreciated. And again, thank you and good night.